All right, so Christmas is around the corner, and who doesn't like Christmas, right? Now, don't get it wrong. Christmas is an amazing time, or at least, to say the least, can be an amazing time of the year. It is a time that we bundle around people that we care, cherish, and love, including family and friends. Now, I do know that some people don't have a good relationship with their family, and therefore Christmas pretty much doesn't mean anything to them. But for those who have a good bond with their family, or in this case, friends, understand the joy of Christmas. Now, I do think Christmas should not be an excuse for people to only see each other once or a couple of times a year. Christmas should really bring people together for the joy and not purposely just only for the gifts that you give and receive. I mean, that is the entire purpose of Christmas. You come together, have an amazing time. But Christmas should not be a reason or the reason for you all to come together. I feel like that should be a mandatory thing regardless it being Christmas or not. But in this video, we're going to talk about Christmas and the purpose and meaning behind it. As a kid, Christmas used to be really interesting because I remember as a kid getting like the craziest gifts from my parents. I think the craziest gifts I'd gotten for Christmas over the years as a kid was definitely. You gotta remember, I'm a 2000 kid, so for a lot of people watching this, it may be a whole different time. But I remember when I was, I think, 7 or 8. I don't know if you remember the gaming console at the time. This is like 14, 15 years ago, but it was called the Wii. It was like ahead of its time, definitely when it came to gaming. I'm pretty sure it was including the Xbox 360, one of the first consoles that also included like motion detectment, meaning that if you were playing a specific game, you could actually kick the ball and this and that. I'm not sure if that was the Wii necessarily, but I do remember the Xbox 360 being also one of the things that I got as a child. And I think about 10 years ago, I got when the PlayStation 4 got first released. And dude, I still have the thing till this day. It works perfectly. It still updates, which is really, really insane considering that console is like a generation older, pretty much. I mean, a decade old. I haven't got the PS5. I haven't asked for anything this year for anything because here's the thing. I've always said this to my family. Like, if I truly need or want something bad and I'm able to afford it, I would just get it myself. I don't like to, I would love to have this and that. I've always been the type to not ask my parents for stuff. Same goes for my Christmas. Like, same goes for birthday. Like, dude, I'm 22. I'm not 15 anymore. Daddy, mommy, can I have an iPhone 4? Can I have a puppy for my birthday? Now it's like, what do you want for your birthday? Go out for dinner? Okay, yeah, we could do that. You know, the older you get, the more you realize being a kid maybe wasn't so bad because if you had amazing bond with your parents as a kid, like I had, and you'd ask for this and this and that, you gotta remember, bro, this was in a time that if you had those specific model school shoes or you had this and that, you were considered the shit as a kid back then. Nowadays, these little fuckers be walking around with fat bikes at the age of 7 or 8. So it's like, bro, this generation is really different. And I can imagine it, like, if you're in your 40s or 50s watching this, that you probably got something way different when you were a kid. And it's really weird. And it's quite interesting how two different worlds can collide with different ages. Like, you probably watching this are in your 50s and got a bicycle as a kid. Kids nowadays that you were their age essentially, they get iPads and phones. Insane. Why do we celebrate Christmas? That's a good question. I actually always wondered that. Christmas is an annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed primarily on December 25 as a religious and cultural celebration among billions of people around the world. Now, I do know not all people celebrate Christmas. I actually saw this video on TikTok, and dude, the amount of people that were commenting under that TikTok because a Muslim family had a Christmas tree up in their living room. Jesus fucking Christ, the entire comments, bro. Just hate comments, just hate, this is against religion, this and that. And then some people were like, it's just a tree. Because Christmas is about the birth of God's Son, Jesus, it is about how he came to give us love, hope, and joy. Well, that hasn't happened for me at all in years. That message doesn't change from year to year. When there is so much bad news and devastation in the world, this is good news worth celebrating. Look, I'm just going to be very honest. I am not religious by any means, and to be fair, I don't give a flying shit about this whole celebrating thing. I like Christmas due to the fact that, A, we all come together. Now, I've said this before. Christmas should not be the main reason or the only reason why you and your family or friends get together. That's kind of bizarre to realize there are families out there that really don't speak each other for the entire year, but when it's Christmas, hey, bring this and that over. Sure, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, I respect all religions. I have nothing against it. But me personally, like I said, I'm not the type that is interested in religion because it doesn't interest me simply. There's nothing else to add to it. I just love Christmas because, A, you can sense the vibe. Whenever it's around mid-November, end November, beginning December, you get the vibe. And normally, and usually, it does snow. It has not snowed so far in the Netherlands, which kind of disappointing, but somewhat great due to the fact that at least I can actually drive my car outside. I don't have to stay at home because I can't drive. Second of all, the movies and the nostalgia. That is definitely one of the most amazing things about December, the entire month, is I always watch Home Alone. That is a household staple name around Christmas. And not to mention, Mariah Carey. You know how fucking much money this woman makes around this time of the year? God damn, I think she released all those songs 20 plus, 25, 30 years ago. And she's still making, every year, bro, she makes millions and millions off of revenue of the songs. And it's so bizarre. We never heard these Christmas songs during the normal season, January, February, March. We only really listen and hear these songs around Christmas because that's the entire purpose of the songs. They made them for Christmas. And it's a phenomenal vibe. But I also just love being around my family around this time. Again, this is a moment and time of the year that you should really cherish the loved ones close to you and your friends. Since recent, I have made friends. I got friends. Now, just let me tell you one thing. There are also people in my life that I know that are not friends in a way of personal. Like, there will only be one person that I have invited this year to come to my home. And I have not known this person for very, very long. We have actually almost known each other, well, believe it or not, for almost a year. We have known each other for about 8 months, and she is my best friend. I love her a lot. Like, she is the greatest person, super close to me, and I'm super close to her. And I'm very grateful that I was able to meet her this year. And this is also the first time for me that I'm actually inviting someone over that I'm like, I can trust this person. I can trust this person around me, and I can trust this person around my family. The reason why I've never invited anyone over for Christmas, well, I'm just going to be very honest and straight up. I never had friends as a kid. I never had any genuine close people. I've always been kind of the type to distance myself from people because I just don't trust people that quickly. And the truth is, she's very different, bro. She is super amazing, and my mom is fond of her, bro. She fucking asks me all the time, when is she coming over? Hey, when is she, this and that. When you guys see each other? I'm like, Mom, we're super close friends. You're making it sound as if we're like a couple, and that's the ironic thing. Me and my best friend, we always have to tell our own friends, like, the fact is, we see each other a lot. Like, sometimes we'll see each other weekly. Sometimes, well, actually, frequently, she'll sleep at my place, and then frequently I'll sleep at her place. And due to the fact that we have such a brother and sister like friendship, people think we're often a couple. And we have to tell them, like, no, we're literally just really good friends. We travel a lot. We go to different places. And that is because of the fact that we both understand each other in what way. Now, don't get it wrong. She's an amazing person. She can also be really, really funny at sometimes. Like, she'll be saying the most random shit, and so do I. But I'm really, really glad that I'm able to put someone into the family for the first time pretty much in my life. And I'm super happy that my parents approve of her. Because I'll also be honest, right? Back in the days, and I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I used to take people to my house that were not very, how do I say it? Like, I knew them personally, we were cool always, but they were the exact opposite of what my parents want me to have friend-wise or this and that life. Like, my parents are very careful with who they allow them in their life. My parents are very private. I'm also private to a certain point. Like, most things on the internet, I don't really give a shit about. I'll speak about it, this and that, but, certain things that, like, I can simply not discuss on here because, like, it can affect, potential friendships that I have or, other things. So I thought I'd just let you know. And this is actually also going to be the first time that she's going to meet my brother and my cousin. Yeah, that's actually really cool. But saying that, she might meet my brother this week before Christmas because we're going a couple of days to Amsterdam together. She's never been to Amsterdam. So this is her first time. And she said, I really want to go to Amsterdam. And I know you've been there a couple of times and you pretty much know the city out of your head. Where do we go? What do we do? And I'm like, say less. I know exactly what to do and what not to do in Amsterdam. And this is also going to be my first time, believe it or not, going to Amsterdam around this time of the year. I'm really curious to see what it's like. I'm also very curious to see what the vibe is like in Amsterdam, because I've only been to Amsterdam during like the regular time of the year, summer, this and that. Summer in Amsterdam is fucking awesome, bro. Just smoking a joint at like 10 o'clock at night when the sun is still out, having a beer in your hand. That's a different vibe. But yeah, that pretty much. Does the Bible tell us to celebrate Christmas? The scripture is silent on the issue of celebrating Christmas and gives no reason for Christians to not celebrate it. It does, however, mention a number of annual celebrations that the Jewish people were supposed to remember, and that, in general, was that they were times of remembrance of what God has done for them. What is Jesus' actual birthday? The date of the birth of Jesus is not stated in the Gospels or in any historical sources, and the evidence is too incomplete to allow for consistent dating. However, most biblical scholars and ancient historians believe that his birth date is around 4 to 6 BC. Does God agree for Christmas? What a question is that? There is no ordinance or commandment concerning celebrating Christmas in Scripture. In fact, God hasn't given us any new commandments except to love our enemies. Yeah, see, that's one thing I don't do, bro. If I'm not cool with you, bro, it's fuck you, pretty much. We're not obs. Some people I just don't care about. In the Old Testament, there were certain celebrations that God did command, but their purpose was to foreshadow the coming Messiah. Do Jews celebrate Christmas? For the majority of Americans, December 25 is a time to celebrate the birth of Jesus, but for Jews, it is a time to consider one's relationship to the wider society. Some Jews have chosen to adopt the Yuletide festivities. Some have empathetically rejected the rituals and symbols of Christmas. What does the Bible say about tattoos? Okay. But in the ancient Middle East, the writers of the Hebrew Bible forbade tattooing. Well, yeah, I have tattoos. So, yeah. I guess I'm not loved in their world. Anyways, let me know what you think of Christmas. Do you think it is an important time to celebrate? And yes, some of you may watch this are actively religious and celebrate Christmas due to that. What do you think of it? I think Christmas is amazing. Like I said, it really shouldn't be the main reason or only reason why you and your family get together. It is definitely an interesting time of the year because we always go ham with Christmas. Like, no pun intended. We order so fucking much turkey and so much pork and beef. We eat for like 3 families combined, bro. Yeah, it's actually insane how much we eat. But I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.